An AEW original makes a shock WWE return. Plus, a new WWE champion was crowned on NXT. And could an ex-New Japan star be joining the Bloodline? It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. We now know who was behind those mysterious messages on NXT.
The truth will set you free, Tom. It hurts to get the truth out, but when you get the truth out, it no longer hurts. Or something along those lines. The former Ty Dillinger, AEW original Sean Spears, is the guy who's been putting these random messages of sort of Japanese origin on the last few weeks of NXT television. So how does that tie together? I've got no idea.
Yeah, it was. So Rich Holland was speaking about why he's got no friends on NXT. The lights went out, and when they came back on, he got battered with a chair. The crowd, I think, knew what was coming. There was a faint 10 chant that could be heard on NXT, and then off came the hood, and it was Sean Spears, identified as Sean Spears, not Ty Dillinger.
And with chair in hand, so that would suggest he's going to keep the chairman moniker, which he picked up at AEW, which I enjoyed at the start there, coming about, of course, because of the shoot chair shot to Cody Rhodes' head.
Yeah, and I think it might continue on. They spoke to him after asking him why he attacked Rich Holland, and he says he likes Rich Holland. The truth can bring you to your knees, and that's why Sean Spears is now in NXT. I'll see you at Roadblock. Mysterious.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, this was all very covered over, very much a mystery to all of us, because I think the one name that we connected with this was Okada briefly.
I was flirting around with Tama Tonga, so yesterday when that news broke, I was like, oh my God, we're onto something here, just because of there's been the promos airing over recent weeks of like the sort of sayings of like a man has three faces, which is of Japanese origin, so that being then leading into Sean Spears is very shocking indeed, so no wonder nobody had a clue about Sean Spears' return to the company.
In fact, not even people in the venue. Fightful Select say few in NXT were aware of Sean's return. One talent noted it was a complete shock. As of 8 p.m. EST, Spears was not listed on internal documents, nor was anyone else listed for Rich Holland's promo outside of someone listed as Quote Man, which is a weird superhero. But they do these bits where they rehearse the major points for NXT early on. So Fightful Select reveal who subbed in for Sean Spears to keep the mystery alive.
It's like for like, really, because they're saying Shawn Michaels would fill Spears' role in rehearsals with Holland earlier today. One source told Brennan that Spears was signed to a deal sometime before the first Three Faces vignette began to air. Spears was well received backstage following his return, and he was hidden backstage prior.
It was only appropriate that Shawn Michaels should cover Stan's work briefly after what he did to him all those years ago backstage. That's the third face. Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, Stan. It was right in front of us. Why didn't we see it? Cassie Lee Peyton Royce tweeted upon seeing her husband's return to WWE, home sweet home.
Yeah.
They're expecting their second child, love them.
Congratulations.
It's lovely. And Cody Rhodes, who of course was the recipient of that flipping chair shot in the early days of AEW, for which Sean Spears was on the ground floor of, he simply tweeted 10.
Yes, which is almost the amount of years when Sean Spears left the company. 2019 is when he departed the company, which I cannot believe. That's like 5 years ago, Tom.
It's a long time ago. And he ended up being a big part of AEW's early plans, and he's found his way back here once again. We'll see him again at Roadblock next week, as well as a bunch of other title matches.
Yes, the women's tag team titles, the main roster women's tag team titles were up for grabs next week when the Kabukis put their titles up against Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria. So Tatum is a stalker. She benefited Lyra at Vengeance Day. Lyra was then like, back off there, please. I don't quite want your help there. And now they're a bloody tag team again. We don't know what's going on with Lyra. What's going on inside the membrane?
Who knows? Plus, the NXT tag team champions, Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin, are defending against Chase U.
Oh! That's all I've got to say about that.
This isn't going to be Chase U's night.
So yeah, no, it might be now, because there's been a fantastic story going on, everybody, because Chase U made a deal with the proverbial devil, the mob, Tony D. And then Tony D and Stacks, they lost the tag team titles. So Andre Chase and the Duke Hudson, they lost their deal with them, but then had to earn it back last week. So they're on a roll.
Well,
They're fighting, Tom.
I wish them luck in
Up
their
the NXT.
future endeavours next week. Also confirmed for Roadblock, Joe Gacy and Dijak in an asylum match, which is a weaponised cage match.
Yeah, and because of that, Dijak says he's been studying some of Dean Ambrose's work, harking back to the Ambrose Asylum days with potted plants included.
And Joe Gacy matched this by sharing a GIF from the CCW days of him and John Moxley.
I mean, Joe Gacy's been locked. He's been locked in a glass box for 2 weeks now. He's not showered. He's not eaten. It's great.
He's gonna stink when he comes out, isn't he?
But he's sending messages to Dijak by blowing hot air, obviously, from his mouth onto the glass and then drawing stuff with his nose. It's really good.
Is that what Logan Paul did at Elimination Chamber?
Logan steals from the best. Joe Gacy.
We may also get a debut at NXT Roadblock. We had a video air last night that showed. I'm not sure where on the NXT multiverse map this beach is, but it's a popular one, and it's panned across, and on the beach someone's written "See you soon."
Yeah, it could be along the sort of promenade or sort of the river, the pond from the sad promenade, the sad jetty,
the sad jetty,
the pondering jetty where people like Apollo Crews go to think deep, and people like Pretty Deadly on the main roster go to look up to the sky and see Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, that's that is where that happens. So I mean, this could be anybody at this point. Is
it Tama Tonga? Is it too soon for that? I've got no idea.
Oh, more on that in a little bit. I don't think it is though, because it feels like a surfer gimmick.
It could be the return of Sol Rucker maybe to the actions, because she's been sort of missing from NXT proper. She's been on the Friday one. The Friday Level Up, that's what it's called, isn't it, Ross? She's been on that
Sol
one.
Rucker, eh? It could be Sol Rucker. That might be a thing. It's Charlie Dempsey, who is the NXT Heritage Cup winner. He is the Heritage Cup champion. This is after the No Quarter Catch Crew and the Metaphor got into it. And Noam Dar found out last night, just beforehand, he was facing Dempsey.
Yeah, this is Joe Piece, 100 years of British wrestling history.
How does he talk like that? Charlie Dempsey talks like that with his mouth always like as wide as it can.
100 years of history.
But yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic match. I recommend, without any irony in my voice at all, go and watch the first fall of this Heritage Cup match, because they do a sort of twizzly thing. Dempsey gets him down for a backslide, and then somehow... I can't explain this, Tom. Noam's like, backslide position, taking the fall, and then Charlie flips his legs over Noam, and then pins him that way. I don't get it. It's origami, but with a human body.
Human origami from the people that brought you Liquid Wrestling. But yeah, this is his first title in WWE. He made an attempt to win the All Japan Triple Crown last month, and has gone, I'll take the Heritage Cup instead.
I mean, it's bigger. It's bigger, let's be honest.
Yeah, I'd argue maybe. I don't want to say too much, I might get beaten up. We'll end on this other news. So we've mentioned him a couple of times in this video. He was a big talking point yesterday before the chairman turned up and whacked Ridge Holland. Tama Tonga, Wrestling Observer, saying that Tonga's E-bound.
Yes, he's going to the company, they say. Tama Tonga has said publicly that after spending so much time away from his family on long tours, as his own father did, that he wanted to sign with a US company and spend more time with the family. Tonga had been in talks with WWE last year after his New Japan contract expired, but ended up signing another year in Japan.
He's been part of the New Japan for 14 years as Tama Tonga, former member of the Bullet Club, tag champion at least 7 times, former Never Openweight and 6-man champion as well. He's done pretty much everything there is to do, and his match in Sapporo was very much his sign-off this past weekend. Dave Meltzer believes that we could see Tama Tonga added to the Roman Reigns Rock storyline, saying there is bloodline potential. There is no direct blood relationship, but through Haku, he is considered family by the Johnson, Maivia, and Anoa'i Fatu family.
I believe The Rock in interviews has often referenced Haku as an uncle. So whether that's just like, me dad's friend, everyone's mom's got a friend who's an auntie but not really an auntie, that sort of vibe. So it could happen. Why not?
But yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna have someone turn up, you've got so many potential people that could turn up and spoil Cody's day at WrestleMania. You've got the 400 kids of Rikishi that could turn up, all wildly talented human beings, and now we can potentially add Tama Tonga into that mix as well.
It was also wildly talented.
Also wildly talented. Before we get there, though, the small matter of AEW Revolution this Saturday. 9 pitches today.
That is on the channel this evening. Then we'll have predictions on the channel tomorrow. Then we'll have the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast with previews and whatnot on Friday. Come the weekend, then we'll have What Happened At with Jack and news coming out of the show.
Of course, but you can watch the show with myself and Fraser Porter. Live reactions from throughout the night. And believe me, it's an AEW show, so it will be throughout the night at youtube.com/cultaholic/live as we say farewell to Sting and hello to Will Ospreay, maybe in that order, probably the other order. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe.
Bye!